Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Archaeax, and today we have another very exciting portfolio review. This portfolio is a special one because a previous version of this was featured in our channel. And you can kind of see how she has applied those comments and actually got a really good result. She's actually gotten acceptance from Sci-arc and Princeton. We've also heard back from several of our previous clients that they have gotten into their dream schools, such as Architectural Association, Harvard GSD, and Harvard GSD's landscape architecture programs. I hope you guys will find these portfolio reviews useful, as I will be walking you through all the tips and tricks that I've given to these prospective students. And last but not least, before we get started, there's never a right answer for portfolio, design, or architecture. So if you have any suggestions or don't agree with my comments, please feel free to leave a constructive criticism in our comments. But please be respectful and try to be helpful as much as possible. That being said, let's get started. So in case you guys have missed it, there's a previous version of this portfolio that was reviewed on this channel. So if you guys are interested, I'll link it in the top right corner and in our description. And as you may have noticed, the cover page has not changed too much. It's actually quite similar to the way it was before, so I don't have too much comments about that. But off the bat, you can kind of see the kind of characters that she's giving off of. She's giving off of this very vibrant and geometric forms that is also reflected throughout the portfolio. And starting off in the table of contents, another use of very bold color and font typography. And I understand that a lot of viewers, including myself, might be thinking, oh, this looks a little bit unconventional and unprofessional. But honestly speaking, this kind of characters should be really encouraged in our community. Architecture tends to be a little bit conformist, but in her case is a really good example where showing off your characters and building upon that really worked out for her. Okay, so the first project, it starts off with this amazing semi-full bleed image that shows you a bit of a glimpse into the project. So previously, the image used to be a really thin strip, almost like an abstracted snapshot, and the icon used to be a lot bigger. And the changes that she's made is that she's really emphasized and expanded upon the image and scaled down on the icon, which I think are both really good moves because both formats serve the purpose in those respective scales. So excellent choices there. And this project used to be at the end, and I'm really glad that she brought this to the front. This, I think, is one of the strongest projects in her portfolio, and I usually recommend students place their strongest projects first. I love the way you're representing the circulation over here. That looks really good, and you can kind of see an axonometric version of that here as well. And as you have noticed from our top tier school portfolios, students are not limited to conventional drawing typology such as plan, section, elevation. They focus more on the storytelling and the design process of their. Many of our diagrams are quite abstract, and sometimes they don't quite conform to the rules of construction documentation, for example. But that's exactly what these top tier schools and companies are looking for. They want students and employees who are able to think outside the box and bring something new to the field. I strongly recommend you look through as many of these students and professionals' work as much as possible and experiment with your own projects. Kind of dive into the heads of these people and kind of think about why they would make these kind of choices, and you'll find a way to adapt it for your own purpose as well. So just a quick comment about our project. Honestly, this looks so cool. I love this combination of almost scientific and futuristic materiality that is combined with this very traditional physical abstraction of the theater. So amazing work. All the diagrams and representation is done beautifully, and even this physical model looks like an excellent masterpiece. So yeah, so really happy the way it worked out. And let's move on to the next project. I was actually really impressed by this project when I was first reviewing her portfolio, and it looks even better now that she's presenting it this way. So again, she's starting off each project with a large image. Not only is the design really striking, but the color choice and the boldness of the design is honestly just second to none other. And I love the way she's kind of like bringing that throughout her portfolio. So if you have watched the previous version of this portfolio review, you've probably seen the way we have reconfigured this project. And as you can see, the flow is much better. You can kind of start from the concept, the pieces, kit of parts, and then the way they come together, and then the overall form from various angles to see the result. And of course, and then diving deeper into the detailed view, into orthographic drawings, you get a really full picture of this project. So excellent work. And I love the way she's like kind of putting a nice end to this project by having this vertical rendering. Moving on to the next project, another striking use of color. I think one of the things that made her a successful applicant to all these schools is that she's really not afraid to like show off her style and really find ways to make it work. Like this bold use of color is definitely not what I would have thought in the beginning, but it's really working out. And I feel like that's what made her stand out from the crowd, and yeah, successful candidate in the end. So it's always good to kind of like take other people's opinion with a grain of salt, but in the end, what's gonna make you a special architect is by exploring your own field. And she's doing exactly that, and I think that's what the application committee saw in her. So we're on to the last two projects for this portfolio, and the last two is characterized by slightly more traditional formats of design and representation, and this is actually a type of narrative that I strongly recommend to students. And the reason being is that it's always nice to show off your creative side in the beginning to make yourself stand out a little bit, and then kind of end off everything on a kind of a high note, saying that you're actually able to be practical at a academic and workplace settings. So as you can see just now, she is demonstrating her ability to make quick renderings like that, and very conventional section perspective. And onto the next project is also a very easy to consume kind of rendering. And with that being said, she still hasn't lost sight of her interesting characters. So you can see we still see a lot of bold colors and geometries, and that's still coming through very nicely. And the one thing I really wish was present throughout her entire portfolio is maybe a little bit more labeling and a bit more key or legend for her drawings. So we're starting to see them around here, but I think there has been places, and you guys may have noticed them already, there were some places that could have used some additional labeling. But aside from that, this has been such an interesting portfolio to look at, and I want to congratulate her again on her achievements and wish her best of luck. So if you guys have enjoyed this portfolio, let us know in the comments. And so if you guys are aiming to get into top tier schools or companies, our portfolio review series might be really useful for you. So I'll link that playlist in the description. And if you would like to get more personalized comments for your portfolio, you have the option to book a portfolio review sessions with us. We'll match you with either myself or someone from our team who is working in the field to help you out. So that being said, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.